Hi guys, Ellie here. I want to talk about self-awareness today, on being self-aware, always conscious of and intentional on your impact on those around you. Let me tell you a story about something I experienced last week. I went for a longer drive with someone, not a stranger, but an acquaintance, and I made several observations on our journey. I want to start by saying that this is in no way meant as a critique against that person. I quite like her. I'm merely using this story as an example of how people are completely unaware or uncaring of how their conduct impacts those around them and how apathetic we often are towards strangers. First, I noticed that she was going way too slow when merging onto the highway. Yes, I've driven for over 30 years and I noticed that a lot. Just saying. You're already supposed to have the approximate same speed as the traffic on the highway in order to effortlessly merge in with other drivers, without forcing these drivers to slow down. She was therefore endangering other drivers and us. Then I saw that she was not checking her mirrors continually to check what other drivers were doing, so she could be proactive and anticipate others' intentions. She would only check her mirrors if she intended to move into another lane. When she changed lanes or turned a corner, she would not signal her intent until she was already completing the lane change or turn, giving other drivers no time to react. She was driving mostly in the far right lane when other cars would merge onto the highway, where other cars would merge onto the highway. She did not pay them any heed. She did not adjust her speed or move into the next lane to enable anyone to get onto the highway easier. And when I alerted her of a driver who was running out of ramp beside her so she could slow down and let him in, she said she didn't care, that he needed to take care of himself. Well, one of the first things I learned when I was learning how to drive was to be a courteous driver, especially on the highway, as being aware of others on the road is essential to safety for everyone. This is why your driving instructor will test you to make sure your eyes keep checking your mirrors. You're not just meant to pay attention to your own driving and intentions, but to those of those other drivers around you. If someone is merging onto the highway, you're supposed to ensure they can do so safely by creating space for them, either by speeding up slightly, by slowing down enough to let them in, or by moving into the next lane. When you must merge into another lane or have to make a turn, you are supposed to give the drivers around you ample time and warning to react. If you turn your signal on as you are already making the turn or lane change, you are too late and might not even bother. You've completely missed the whole point of signaling altogether. That you're letting those around you know of your intentions so that they may have sufficient time to anticipate slowing down their speed without slamming on their brakes. If you don't use your signals at all, you are self-absorbed to the point of dangerous to those around you. For those who choose to drive with a phone in their hand, driving under the influence, or anything else that distracts you, this is the worst kind of narcissism, because you're not only willing to risk your own life, you're willing to risk somebody else's. And don't tell me you're a multitasker. My ex-husband used to tell me that he was capable of paying 100% attention to more than one thing at a time, and that is absolutely impossible. You cannot keep both eyes on the road and on your surroundings as you drive while also reading and typing on your phone. You're now a danger to anyone on your path and in the vehicle with you. Those who make videos with their dash cam of themselves weaving in and out of traffic at high speeds really need a reality check. They certainly have no regard for life, whether their own or others. Now listen, I'm not highlighting these things to talk about people's driving errors and blatant ignorance, but as a sign, but also an example for how we relate to others around us. As a society, we've become too apathetic to those around us who are not part of our intimate circle. Think about how, as a driver, you are operating a potentially dangerous vehicle that could injure or kill someone if not properly handled. Therefore, it is our responsibility to use this vehicle safely and intentionally. Cause no harm should be one of the main intentions we set for ourselves each day as we go about our lives. But also, spend your day with your eyes and heart wide open. Instead of solely focusing on yourself, pay attention to everyone around you. Be mindful. Live mindfully. Instead of burying your nose in your phone when you are in public, keep a watchful eye. Observe. Appreciate what your senses pick up. Anticipate others' needs. What better place this world would be if everyone stopped being so distracted and paid attention to their surroundings, but first and foremost, to the impact their presence and actions has on the world around them. Think back to a time someone made a careless comment without much thought that hurt you deeply or angered you. Maybe someone ignored you when you needed help or made you feel inconsequential. Perhaps someone made a mistake and shifted blame onto you. When have we as human beings become so disconnected from one another that we rarely care about how we affect others, even if they're strangers? When did we stop feeling that we are all responsible for how we act and interact with our surroundings, that we bear responsibility to keep our communities safe, that we should all stand up for one another? It feels like we have become divided into groups of those who feel that they alone have no impact, and those who would thrust all their impact and influence onto everyone and anyone to control and domineer. Know that even you, whether you feel like a minuscule cog in a great machine, or you feel like you own that machine with power and intent, you affect many in your day, and you may not even know it. You may have had a positive impact on the cashier you conversed with in a friendly manner, the person you held the door open for, or maybe you stole a parking spot at the mall and made someone who was already stressed out feel worse. Are your loved ones asking for your time, but you're too busy scrolling on your phone? Or are you willingly putting your own and others' lives at risk by driving under the influence or texting while driving? All these are parts of the thousands of choices you make every day, and these decisions shape you into the person you are. When you look in the mirror and think about the impact you have on those around you, especially strangers, do you like what you see? Energetically speaking, we're all connected. We are energy, and everything around us is energy. Every action has a reaction, every choice has a consequence. You are living the consequences of your past decisions, and often we have to pay karma to those we have wronged, no matter how small the infraction or injury. Wouldn't you rather live mindfully, purposefully, aware of how others impact you and how you impact others? Would you feel safer out in public, especially as you're traveling in your vehicle, if you knew that the people and drivers around you were all living and driving with purpose and intention to keep everyone around them safe by taking responsibility for their actions and their impact on others? It starts with you. Ask yourself, would you feel good or worried when one day your child became old enough to drive and to be out on their own in the world, if they were surrounded by drivers and strangers just like you? Would you be worried? Are you a good role model, teaching responsibility for yourself and others? What impact are you making? I repeat, it starts with you. Love and light.